Hello, viewers and subscribers. Subscribers, thank you for subscribing. I've been wanting to try different makgeolli recipes. I've been mostly making either the Iyangju recipe with godubap or Iyangju with rice flour, jute, and then godubap. There's recipes that with steamed rice cake, with pounded rice cake, boiled rice cake, different kinds of jute. But since I didn't have the details, what I'm going to do is make up my own recipe. I'm just going to rely on the friendliness of the Nuruk and yeast to make alcohol no matter what. My current Iyangju recipe adds all the water in the recipe in the first stage when I'm making the rice flour jute. And when I add the godubap, I don't add any additional water. That's the recipe I have been following. So to make a change, what I'm doing in this recipe is putting as little water as possible in the first stage and moving that water to the second stage with the godubap. So this recipe is a hard steamed rice cake Iyangju recipe. I don't think it has any traditional authenticity. I'm just trying to move the ingredients around in my own way, and just hoping by the friendliness of Nuruk and yeast that the job will get done no matter what. So I start with regular rice flour. I'm trying to add as little water as possible. I end up adding about equal amounts, just 1 tablespoon at a time. So I mixed in a little bit of water to the rice flour till a dough formed. That's not enough. Okay, now this is probably too much, but it's what I got. Okay, so I pour out the rice flour dough. Oh, it's just a lump. I'm going to steam that for 30 minutes. Okay, so yeah, there it is. It's just a lump of rice flour steam. While it's steaming, I prepared the Nuruk as usual. It's the same amount of Nuruk, 90 grams, half a package of yeast, and 100 milliliters of water. So the rice cake is done now. It is a hard lump. It took a long time to cool down, a few hours. There it is. It's too hard to work with, so I had to cut it up. So I put it in the jar and add the Nuruk mixture and mix it by hand. One problem with this, it's too gooey. I got too much on my hand. That's a drawback of this method. So lumps are still pretty big in there. I don't know if this looks promising yet, but that's what it looks like. Next day in the morning, well, something's happening. The process is starting. And by the evening, it looks pretty good. This for first stage. Okay, so despite following a different process with the rice, this is fermenting. So I stir it twice a day for the first 2 days. And on day 2, I want to do the second stage, which is godubap. So I prepare it as usual, which is washing, soaking, drain the rice, and then steam it for 40 minutes. This is unchanged from my usual recipe. And then you spread it out to cool to room temperature. And so I add it to the jar. Now I add the 1 liter of water. So in my standard recipe, I would have added the water in the first stage, and this time I'm adding it in the second stage with the godubap. And on day 3, because it is pretty firm, I did stir it twice. Just make sure my small stage 1 was mixed in with the stage 2 godubap. And it's getting softer now. Okay, so day 4 onward, I did not stir it at all. It is separating into layers. You can see there's a liquid layer in the middle with some sediments on the bottom and rice on top. Going through the days. So one way to tell if it's done is to use a match. If the match stays lit, brew is done. Oh, match went out. That means that there's carbon dioxide being produced. Your brew is not done. Okay, so I ended up leaving it for another week here on day 14. Let's repeat the match test again. And this time the match stays lit. So it's done. Time to strain and bottle it. Very liquidy. I ended up with 300 grams of lees, and I observe it and feel it. Oh, there's still some lumps of the hard rice cake in there. That meant I should have cut it up more finely. If I had cut it half the size that I did, I think all of the rice cake would have been digested, just based on the size of the lumps that were left. So I end up with more than 2 liters of output. I like having that extra bowl to sample when it's fresh. Taste was more bitter and less sweet than my usual recipe. So I don't think this recipe was an improvement for me. There's room for further experimentation. Even though I just made up this recipe, it's still a drinkable brew, and so that's fun. I'll try something else next time. Thank you for watching.